Oh, we are eating good this week. Just a few days ago, we got the extended trailer, the 11 minutes for Phantom Blade Zero, of which I made a video. You can go watch it. It's the previous one. And yesterday, at least at the time I'm recording this, we got a 6-minute extended trailer for the Blood of Dawnwalker, a game I am also very much looking forward to. And while it's roughly half the length of the Phantom Blade Zero one, this one goes really in depth into how the game works, how the game is gonna, the things you will be able to do, how the game is structured. So, just like the previous one, we're gonna go over the trailer, see what has been announced, how the game is gonna play out, plus a bunch of gameplay that you can see in the trailer in the background. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, what is the Blood of Dawnwalker? Well, this is a third-person action RPG. The closest thing that you can relate it to is The Witcher 3, because in fact Rebel Wolves, the developers, are formed by a lot of former CD Projekt developers. And I mean, when you watch the trailers and you listen a little bit about it, you know. I mean, you can see it. It looks like The Witcher, which is a good thing. So the trailer starts going into a bit of an overview of how the location, the characters, the game takes place in a fictional valley called Vale Sangora in the Carpathian Mountains around the 14th century. It goes quickly over how some bad things happen and now the vampires rule this area. The leader of them is called Brensis. He's like the main antagonist. I'm assuming, okay? I mean, I would guess he's the main antagonist. So essentially this guy Brensis, he conquered the area from the previous rulers and he uses his blood to heal the people from the Vale. But in return, of course, he demands absolute loyalty. It also goes into his, like, lieutenants, if you will. There is 3 of them. I encourage you to go watch the trailer so you can get all the nuance about the characters and what they do, but each has their own job, essentially, within the valley. After it goes over them, I found this something very interesting, because the trailer goes into that these characters, all 4 of them, they won't stand idle as you dismantle their operations. That's how it put it. So with every victory that you make, the court will create new edicts that will make things harder. And we'll get into it later, but depending on how you tackle the game, like the story, where you go, what you do, this could actually make for very interesting replayability. Okay, so I start doing this and then the court will do this stuff to counter it. But if I start and I actually go into doing this other stuff, maybe they will do different things. Depending, if I'm guessing you're going to have to fight all 3 of these lieutenants and kill them before you go to Brensis. I'm guessing that depending on which order you kill them, the others something different will happen with the others. This game looks very reactive to what you do, and I freaking love that. I'm hoping it's really in depth. Then it goes over the main protagonist, which is called Coen. It doesn't go in depth on what happens in the story, it just tells you that a few bad things happen, your family gets captured by Brensis, and you get turned into a Dawnwalker, which is essentially half vampire. So during the day, you are a human, and during the night, you turn into a vampire. Then it goes over into the 2 sides of the game. During the day, you are the human, and the human aspect of you has access to magic, which in this game are called hexes, which is like spells that you're able to use. Like talking to the dead. If you played Baldur's Gate 3, some of the most fun I've had playing that game is when I have talked to the dead and talked to animals. It's just incredible that there is so much freaking dialogue that you could completely miss if you don't use those skills. It's so awesome. And, well, it seems that the talking to the dead is incorporated into the main story. I'm hoping that that you can find dead characters and talk to them randomly like you can do in Baldur's Gate 3. Also says that you can run faster. This is all through the magic. You can enter the quote-unquote astral plane, which it doesn't describe, but I'm guessing it's like an alternative dimension where you can access through magic. And in order to get more magic, you need to find like ancient text, things like that to increase your knowledge so you can learn more spells. And at night, you turn into a vampire. You use claws and fangs when you are a vampire. Maybe you don't have access to regular weapons like swords or bows when you are at night. You can also climb walls, which apparently is something you cannot do during the day. You can like sort of teleport like a cloud of mist. And then you can turn into a wolf, which I thought it was so funny. So instead of maybe you get a horse during the day and then you can turn into the dog at night. It's weird. It's fun to theorize how it's gonna actually work when you're playing. It singles out the wolf, so maybe you can only transform into that form. Now, also, it goes over that you need to drink blood. That drinking blood will unlock new abilities, but it will, over time, corrupt you. This is very similar to the game Vampire. If you haven't played it, it's a AA game, it's very good, and it has this mechanic. You are a vampire, and you have the choice. You have multiple choices throughout the game, whether to consume blood or not. Now, yes, the more moral thing and the quote-unquote good thing to do would be not to kill people to drink their blood, but at the same time makes you stronger. However, if you don't, that is sort of like the good, the paragon path, but you are much weaker and the game will be much harder. I'm assuming this will be similar in this game. So if you drink more blood, you will be more powerful, you will have access to a lot of more abilities, but at the same time you will go down maybe the more darker path. And it says that you can either stick to one path, so no blood, or all the blood, or a mix of both. You can drink sometimes, so you can get maybe a few skills or a few things. I'm guessing it will work maybe as a skill tree. You need certain amounts of blood that you consume. I don't know. I'm just guessing here. Then it goes over that there is a lot to explore in the world. I'm hoping it's interesting to explore, similar to The Witcher 3, that you get a bunch of armor, weapons that you can find, you know, open world exploration. So I'm just hoping that the exploration is enjoyable. But then it goes to the most interesting part for this game, which is time. You see, the moment your family gets kidnapped, you have 30 days and 30 nights to rescue them. Otherwise, they die. I've already seen these. I've already heard this from other content creators that have already played the game. They've mentioned this aspect. But as the trailer makes sure to point out, there is no real time clock. So essentially, you can do pretty much all you want in terms of exploration and combat. So you can run around, you move around, you explore, you find stuff, you fight. Those things will not advance time. On a personal level, games that advance time in, well, real time, they just... I don't particularly enjoy them. Probably the only exception would be Majora's Mask. But one game, and okay, story time for a second. For a second, there is one game in particular with this mechanic that I despise with a passion, and that is Lightning Returns. Yes, the third entry in the Final Fantasy XIII series, which is terrible. It's a very weird. I could make an entire video about it, so I won't get into the other games. But the third one in particular, it expands a lot of things from the previous ones that make it genuinely much more interesting to explore. There are bigger areas, more interesting locations, design-wise. There is stuff to find. So it gives you a lot more freedom, and at the same time, it slaps you with a real-time clock. Not only that, but missions are locked at certain times of day. So you have a set amount of days until the game ends. But if you're not efficient with that time, meaning if you waste time exploring things that look interesting, you're gonna lose. So I really don't like that game, and I really don't like that mechanic in general. But this one is striking a different balance. Like I said, there is no real time, so you can do whatever you want. However, time is considered a resource in this game. Think about it like money. It's essentially money. So you have 30 days worth of money. The trailer says that you will be able to use it in whatever game elements you want for your particular story. I'm guessing that you won't be able, with the time you're available, with those 30 days and 30 nights, you won't be able to do everything. you will have to choose. So the time passes when you finish a quest, when you level up abilities, so essentially your resource for leveling up, besides I'm sure that you're going to have to unlock them doing something, but in order to activate them, you're going to need to use time. So you need to be careful which abilities you acquire. And it also mentions that as the time progresses, so you start 30 days from this point of no return. Well, as the time advances and days pass, new things will be unlocked. New missions, new quests, new paths. Either they will be unlocked or they will be lost forever, as it puts it. So there's going to be a lot of probably quests that are time-gated and time-sensitive. So you probably have a few quests that are available at the beginning, but maybe after something happens in a certain day, something happens to a location and maybe those quests are no longer available because the people are either not there or... By the way, this is all me just guessing, okay? I'm just guessing. But I think that I'm guessing the cool stuff. What can be actually interesting. Now, I've seen this discussion that I don't even remember which article I saw it, that this game is gonna show people's worst sides, and he meant it in a sense that what decisions are they gonna be taking. That actually led me to believe that probably the quote-unquote more noble things, the good things that you can do, like helping people and fighting the bad guys and saving a town or whatever, those things, my guess is some of them will probably cost more time than using the quote-unquote bad decision. Your quest maybe is to take something somewhere. Again, just guessing, but maybe you need... Okay, take this to that little hut over the hill. And as you're going, you're faced with a choice. If you go this way, there is bandits attacking a house. And you can go that way and help them. But it will take you longer to reach. So instead of consuming, I don't know, 4 hours, it will take 8. But if you take this route, it will take you maybe just 4. However, the people in that house will be killed. You see what I'm getting at? I'm getting those vibes from this game. I'm hoping I'm not giving it too much credit and it's actually not like that, because the way it's describing it and the way it's pointed out, I think that could be very interesting. Makes you making those decisions and how they can affect. Maybe in that house there was a character that give you a quest at a later date, and if you don't help them, that quest won't show up. I feel there is so much potential to this. I'm very, very intrigued about the game. Okay, continuing with the trailer, then it goes to say something that is actually very cool. If you fail, so you have a clear goal, which is save your family. But if you fail, for whatever reason, the game will not end. It's not the end of the game. It says that Coen's story will take just a different turn. And this is actually very interesting, because this connects to what we saw at Summer Game Fest. Summer Game Fest, they got a new trailer, they showed up, and the game director talked a little bit in the stage. In the trailer, at the beginning, we could see a section where it's taking place in the modern day. Remember, this is 14th century. So why are you taking place in the present day? Well, he says that is for an upcoming game. So my guess is that they're doing something similar to Mass Effect. In Mass Effect 2 and 3, you grab your save file from the previous game and the decisions that you made change aspects of the new game. And I'm feeling this is what it's going. So depending on what happens in this one, whether you save your family or not, and other things that you do across the game, maybe that will transfer to the unannounced yet future game. That's one of the reasons I'm hoping this game is really good, and it does, but above all, that it does very well. So we can see how that is, because we haven't seen a series like that since Mass Effect. And maybe another bit of a side story. My favorite franchise that I love the most is the Legend of Heroes Trail series. Why do I love them so much? Because of that. Sure, the story is linear. There is no decision making in one game to transfer to the next. But still, you play through a bunch of games, and in very later games, in the 9th game in the series, you encounter characters from the first one that in the first one were very much side characters, and then you meet them back. that feeling of that I've been in this world interconnected for so long is one of the things that made Mass Effect so great. Because yes, in Mass Effect you had the decision making that affects the other games. It gave that feeling of a continuous interconnected world throughout all the franchise. So if they're cooking something like that, with depending how major decisions you make in this game will affect the next one, man, I am so ready for it. At the same time, it mentions that all the activities that you can do, all the quests, are all optional. And whatever path you take to complete your objective, saving your family, it's yours. So you can do whatever you want once you finish the prologue. So you can explore the valley, and you can find characters that help you in your mission, or new opportunities, depending what you do, where you go. But if you want, you can simply storm the castle if you wish, you know, like in Breath of the Wild. In Breath of the Wild, as soon as you're done of the first tutorial area, you're welcome to enter the castle and trigger the final boss. Dude, I love that. Having the freedom to do it, I'm probably not going to do it, but I'm sure a lot of people will. The game makes sure to point out that defeating Brancis as a freshly made Dawnwalker would be a feat worth of legend. And personally, I hope that is incredibly hard. I'm hoping the power scaling is noticeable in that aspect. But the fact that you can do it and the game accounts for it, it's great. Now, this is interesting. Then it goes into how they design the game. They go into some accessibility options. You can, if you want, enable Omniblock. You see, this game has a direction blocking system. So think of it similar to For Honor, but it's directional. So the enemy will attack you from certain angles, and you need to block into that direction in order to work. If you block the other direction, you get hit. So this game is like that. You have a directional block. But if you want, you can turn on Omniblock. So like The Witcher. In The Witcher, no matter which angle you get attacked from, if you block or parry, it will do it, no matter where you're looking. The only exception, as he mentions, is unblockable attacks. And then it also explains that if you don't want that, you can use directional combat, where it needs to be, you need to face the enemy and the direction they're attacking. So it can be interesting. I'm actually interested in this combat system. At the same time, you have a bunch of abilities that you can use. I'm guessing they will be changing, of course, depending if you're on the day or night, if you're a vampire or a human. Probably you have magic spells that can crowd control or simply attack enemies, heal yourself. And it shows like an ability that is like in the night with the vampire, that he throws like some blood to a guy and he gets either disoriented or maybe he gets control and attacks enemies. I'm thinking the vampire abilities will be a bit more on the darker side, maybe more control abilities, like, or killing, okay, commanding people. That can actually be interesting. Then it shows a little bit of like walking in different areas, the city, the mountains, caves, and it says that no matter what you do, there is always something to find. The closest this is to Elden Ring, where you seem to find something interesting pretty much everywhere, the better. Different path that you want to take is actually worthwhile. Like, okay, oh, look, a cave. And then you explore the cave and you find something interesting, not just maybe, oh, 50 coins, thank God. And that's pretty much it. That's where the trailer ends. I am honestly very, very excited about this game. Now, at this point in time, it's still fighting with Onimusha because they come out with 1 day of difference. This comes September the 3rd. Onimusha comes September the 4th. I'm not going to buy both at the same time. That's what I mean. I still don't know which one. I played a demo for Onimusha. I think it's good, and I'm hoping the AI is a bit more reactive in the final game. But I liked what I saw, and it ran pretty well. So it has a slight advantage over this one. But I'm just going to wait for reviews on both. And if at the end of the day they are both pretty good, it will depend how I feel. What I feel like playing, because they're very different games. The other one is very fast-paced action game, a lot more linear, and a lot of focus on the combat. And this one, it's open world exploration, okay? And this is, or at least it's aiming to be, a pure RPG, you know. It focuses on story, decision makings, character build, more than in actual just combat. So they're very different types of games, and sometimes I just feel like playing one or the other. At this point in time, I'm honestly not sure which one I would choose to buy like on day one. And this one is coming to PC, PS5 and Xbox. So far, no confirmation for a Switch 2 port. Now, thank God, the Blood of Dawnwalker does come in a physical edition. You have the day one edition that includes a steelbook. Now, the developers and Bandai Namco have confirmed that the physical edition will be fully playable off the disc without any download. So, proper physical edition for Blood of Dawnwalker. That is awesome to see. So, I'm guessing this one is all good news after all. And that's pretty much it. What you guys think about it? Are you excited about the game? Are you thinking about picking it up? Maybe because it's one of the first one, because I think it's the first one, the first big one for September. Is this the game you're going to be picking up in this very packed next month that we're going to have? Or maybe you want Onimusha or maybe another game. Either way, let me know what you guys think. Let me know your theories about what I mentioned that wasn't in the trailer. How do you think the game is going to play out? I'll read you in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy the video. I'm gonna be honest, we are very close to 1,000 subscribers, so I would love if we can get through it. So leave a like if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.